Hello, everyone.
Happy Monday.
Hap- Happy Monday. Welcome back. It's December 12th. It's my anniversary.
Happy
Happy anniversary, Angel.
anniversary.
Um,
Wedding or me?
yes, our
What?
13th wedding
Wow.
anniversary today.
Are
So,
you
a
going
lucky
out
13.
tonight?
So we're gonna have a little picnic this afternoon, and
Cute.
then we might walk around and look at some Christmas lights tonight.
I love that.
That's our that's
Yeah,
our speed.
I love that. I'm not a fan of going out when it's like big holidays or Valentine's Day because it's like amateur hour. You just got to do what feels right for you
Yeah,
in the celebration.
yeah. I mean, I think that maybe early in a relationship and you want to do blowout stuff like that, or if it's a real big
Milestone.
anniversary
Yeah.
milestone, sure. But like, I don't know, we don't uh we don't kind of go in for the super blowout every even if we could afford it. I'd kind of like rather just sort of cuddle on the couch with the cats and have a glass of wine and chill. That's
Bingo.
that's
Bingo.
my idea of a good anniversary. So welcome. We got almost a dozen people. I think we have a few comments in the chat already. Vince Lamb wishing everyone a happy gingerbread house day. It is always a good day to look at the gingerbread houses at Disney. And oh yes, I wish I was at Disneyland so I could see the Haunted Mansion holiday
Oh,
gingerbread house. Hello as always to Blossom and Terry and Michael Bingham. Hello, welcome. Uh,
oh, 4 days.
4 days till your birthday, and we are going to be talking about Michael's birthday present, the escape room that recently opened at Universal Orlando. That is definitely on our agenda.
Yes.
And Brian checking in, just catching up with the Golden Globe nominations. And Avatar 2 is up for Best Picture Drama because of early screeners. I actually just read a draft of a newspaper review of the movie. I don't know when the embargo lifts, but I'm very optimistic. I think I'm going to rewatch the original Avatar at home
Yes.
before I go out and see it. It would probably be quicker for me to rewatch Avatar at home than to go out and ride Flight of Passage at
Facts.
Animal Kingdom right now, and a lot cheaper too. John Self checking in, working today from Marvel Superhero Island.
Ooh.
I'm jealous. That's a great office. And Kingston is looking forward to Minion Land at Universal
Me
Orlando. Yep,
too.
it's coming, and we will definitely be talking about that this show. All right, we've got a dozen people here. We got plenty of people in the chat. I think it's time for us to kick this show off on the count of 3, 2, and 1.
Please lower your head and watch your step while boarding.
Welcome to the Attractions Podcast. You are all clear for dispatch. Have fun.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 169 of the Attractions Podcast, sponsored by MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. I'm Seth.
And I'm Carly.
And we are here again to talk to you about the latest and greatest in theme park news and more, as well as what's going on in our own lives. And we have both had a heck of a week. We both got to sail on inaugural media preview sailings of the Wonder of the Seas, the newest and biggest ship from Royal Caribbean, going out of Port Canaveral. We were not together. We literally passed like ships in the night.
You did.
Just as I got off from my 2-night trip, she was getting on. So we are here to compare notes. Carly, how was your experience on the Wonder of the Seas?
I had a wonderful time. It is very big. That was one of the first takeaways. It's overwhelming,
So
but
huge. The
so big.
world's largest passenger cruise ship for now until Icon of the Seas.
Until Icon. I have to say, one of my biggest takeaways is pretty funny, but their all-day buffet place, Windjammer, was some of the best food I've ever had, and
Okay.
I'm sure you feel the same way.
I'm not generally on cruise ships a buffet person. Even before COVID, I was a little skeevy about buffets. But I do also write the unofficial guide to Las Vegas, so I'm a big fan of the kind of super high-end buffets that they have out there. And I would say this is up there with some of the best
Agreed.
buffets that you would find on the strip. You know, I remember the first time I walked on a Disney cruise ship and they had that embarkation day buffet lunch that had crab legs on it. I was like, oh my God, crab legs on a buffet. When I walked into the Windjammer and I saw lobster tails as far as the eye could see, I was like, I'm come home.
Yes, there was
You
legit seafood towers, and
towers, like
we're not talking like, oh, little baby party shrimp. These were full
the fist
shrimp.
size colossal shrimp. Yeah, full size split lobster tails. You want them hot, you want them cold, you want
Yes.
ceviche, you want sashimi. What I mean, it was and plus everything else you can imagine. So huge thumbs up for their buffet and
Right.
amazing variety of food on offer. I had one experience in the main dining room that was
Yeah.
but their specialty dining, normally when I'm already paid for a cruise, I'm like, why am I paying more for food? The specialty dining I had was worth paying more for.
Absolutely. I went down the rabbit hole to Wonderland, which is one of their specialty dining experiences. There's a Mad Hatter going all around, interacting with guests.
Yeah.
The food was great. I had one of my favorites was this. It was like a waffle cone with lump crab meat and an avocado mousse on it, and I could have eaten just the cones the entire time. And the service was wonderful. They really took good care of you.
Yeah, that was the one where to find out what you were eating, you had to paint a menu with a paintbrush, and the menu would magically appear, and people serving you in costume and elaborate plating. I got to eat in 150 Park Central, which one of the things I liked about the ship is even though it is massive, they kind of break it up into different sections that feel a little more intimate. So our favorite area was the Central Park area, which had actual growing trees and little places to sit, and they had a gorgeous continental restaurant, one of the best lobster thermidors that I've ever had, and impeccable service. So yes, we definitely did not go hungry. Did you get to try the mason jar at all?
I did. I went there to try their cocktails, and I had a peanut butter old fashioned. 2 of them actually. It was amazing. On a skewer was a little mini PB&J, and then I was talking to the bartender, and he's like, "Have you had our mint julep?" I said, "No, this is my first time on board." He said, "We do a legit mint julep."
Yep,
it was amazing.
Yeah, I
drink there. They have a bar there, so if you don't sign up for specialty dining there or camp, which it's one of the hardest to get into because it's, they're putting a lot of effort into it. Just go to the bar. They have snacks too.
Yeah, you can do late night snacks. They've got deviled eggs, and I had a great Kentucky mule. I talked to the food and the beverage directors there, and if you're a fan of Orlando barbecue, you know Four Rivers. John Rivers, who's the king of barbecue in Orlando, is a friend of the guy who's in charge of the barbecue there and consulted. So the ribs, fantastic. Everything there was great. I was personally most impressed by the entertainment. I got to talk with Nick Weir, who's the head of all entertainment for Royal Caribbean, and they have more performers, singers, comedians under them than any other entertainment corporation. More than all the Disney parks put together, more than all the Universal parks put together. Royal Caribbean around the world, and I'd say like. The Aqua Show. Did you get a chance to see the Aqua Show?
I did pop in. I tried to pop into each of them just to see a little bit of it.
We actually saw the Aqua Show and the dance show twice because they were so good. And we saw the superhero show once, which just had amazing technology. Drones flying right over your head.
Right. And the entertainment is everywhere. When you're walking in the Royal Promenade, next level up, there's like a big band. I went into a Latin bar. They had a full Latin band. And this is all happening at the same time. So it is very alive, and I love to see live entertainment. I don't want to just sit at a bar. I want to be dazzled.
The big spectacles, those were incredible. But my favorite moment was when we were walked into an elevator and there's a guy playing a piano. There's like this
Yes.
steampunk stowaway dude playing like crazy piano playing, and we missed our floor. We just sat there in the elevator,
So
like he's like,
cool.
"Where are we going?" We have no idea. We're just here listening to you right now. Yeah, we really. I mean, the big problem I had was that 2 days was not nearly enough to scratch the surface. There's so
Right.
many things that we never got to touch. And I do have to say, in all fairness, we were hosted. We were invited on very generously, but we only had about 3,200 guests. I don't know about how many you had on your sailing
I think
uh,
even less than that.
on a
Yeah.
ship that's designed to hold 7,000. So I think the experience we had, just the impeccable service and not being crowded, might not be the same if you were there once it is full up. So
Yes. But I will say, I have never seen a ship with that many pools and lounge chairs.
we
I
we
kept discovering
never.
areas. I
Uh,
was like, wow.
the last day, I finally discovered this whole outdoor promenade deck that I didn't know existed as we were just about to disembark. I'm sure there are plenty of things I didn't see, and yeah, we absolutely never felt like crowded or like we couldn't find a seat for anything.
Right. I was super
Sure.
impressed because I mean, just going on other cruise lines and it's the pools are like waiting pools. You know, these were like big pools. There was hot tubs. There was a solarium for
Hmm.
adults only. I just was
Solarium was great.
there's so many pools to swim in, and we have to talk about the Abyss, the crazy dry
Uh,
slide that we went on.
Yeah, you know what? I think it was a little bit more, to be honest, hype than actual reality. I
Mhm.
had fun, but for me it was one and done. It's got some pretty colored lights as you go around, but it's kind of like NASCAR. You're just turning in a circle in the same
It was
direction, pretty
so
much.
quick. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my.
I'm glad I didn't wait very long for it. There's also a very brief zip line. They're the kind of things that, like, if you've never done something like this, and you're not being charged extra, go for it. But yeah, there was just so much that we never got to, and more stuff coming soon. Apparently, they're still working on an escape room, and
Yes.
there was a children's blacklight puppet show I really wanted to see that
Ooh.
wasn't quite ready. We got a little snippet of a pentatonic style a cappella show called Voices that's coming. I mean, just so much stuff. I think 7 days, and you could still not have seen and done everything there for
Right.
sure.
And then I love the rooms. It was one of the most spacious
Mm.
cruise ship rooms I think I've ever been in. Uh
Our
there was
balcony room was very nice.
right.
The balcony had more depth to it. You
Yes.
could
Yep.
stretch your legs out, and there was, a big couch that folded out with plenty of room. Yeah, we didn't feel cramped. The only thing is, on Disney, they split the bathrooms
Yep.
into a shower and a toilet, so two different people can use them at the same time. And I love that design.
I
That
love
they
that
had
too.
that.
Yeah.
But if you need more room, they've got some suites. Got to check out the Ultimate Family Suite, which is two
Ooh, the
levels,
slide.
has a slide in it to get from top to bottom, and has a jacuzzi and a climbing structure out on the balcony. So yeah, if you and even a dining room table that's like a giant iPad that you can play touch games on. So yeah, if you've got a big family and a big wallet, go check that one out.
Oh yeah. No, it was great. We went to Coco K2, which is their private island,
Yes.
and I was really excited. The only thing I wanted to do there was go on the North America's tallest water slide, which is called Daredevil's Peak. And
Daredevil's
in
Peak.
their water park there, you go up this huge tower. I mean, like, how many flights of stairs were there? It felt higher than
It,
Volcano Bay.
so Volcano Bay kind of has stairs that go up and down a little bit, because to navigate the scenery. So I feel like Volcano Bay might have been more total steps, but I think this was higher, and
It
it
was
wasn't
a
as
little scary.
intimidating. wasn't as intimidating as the big slide at Volcano Bay because it wasn't just straight down. It wasn't one of those drop capsules. You got to sit and push yourself off, and it was fast. I mean, you really built up some speed, but it wasn't
halfway through. You really like.
Oh yeah, but I didn't feel like like those big slides at Volcano Bay. Like I feel like I'm just getting a neti pot straight up my sinuses, and I can't see, I can't breathe. This at least I could kind of hold my head up a little, and it was fun, but it wasn't painful.
Yes, agreed. I loved it. If we didn't have to walk up so many steps, I probably would have went on it again.
Yeah, they need an elevator.
Yes.
Well, I'm so glad that we both had good times. Thank you again to Royal Caribbean, and I'll have more coverage of that in the Orlando Weekly coming up at the end of the year.
Nice. And then I have to mention, I went to Monsieur Paul last week before I got on the cruise. I don't know if I even told you I was going.
No.
My friend was able to get a last-minute reservation. Oh my God. It was phenomenal. Best meal I had all year. Loved it more than Victoria and Albert's.
Really? I mean, that is a bold statement.
I know.
Say Victoria and Albert's for me was amazing, but it was almost too much. That like it was so overwhelming. What was your highlight at Monsieur Paul's?
Oh God! Well, first off, it's $195 per person, which obviously
but that's a lot more affordable. I could do that before I could go back to Victoria and Albert's.
But it includes, there's 2 full entree courses, 1 fish, 1 steak, and these aren't samples. These are full entree courses.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite was the fish with the potato scales, which made famous with this like thyme sauce. You also get multiple full drinks during it. Ooh. So that is another thing to consider. Like there was pear brandy at one point, a welcome full glass of champagne. So when you factor in those things, it was worth it. Like for sure, compared to what you spend at other Disney restaurants, a steak alone at Gico could be $70.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it was excellent. My friend got started with the escargot. She said it was the best escargot she'd ever had. It was wonderful. Hard to get a reservation if you can.
All right. Well, my wife is at work right now. Hopefully she's not listening to this and wondering why I didn't make a reservation at Monsieur Paul's instead of just having a picnic out on the lawn.
Well, it's closed on Monday, so you couldn't go anyway.
Exactly. Good excuse. All right. Well, before you make me any more jealous, I think we should simply, without any further ado, get into the news in the queue. First up, Disneyland After Dark is returning with Sweethearts Night and Princess Night in 2023. Returning favorite and a whole new event coming up soon.
Yeah, so Sweetheart Night, if you're not familiar, takes place on 7 date nights, what they're calling. And this is just like a classic Disney After Dark event. There's specialty themed fireworks, shows, meet and greets. Of course, there's like really cool character costumes on them that they wear, themed food and beverage. It's really fun. And I think if you're going to do one of the after hours events, this is one of the more unique ones.
Yeah, these are kicking off on January 31st and taking place on select nights in the first half of February, including February 14th and 16th, right in time for Valentine's Day. And some of the highlights are going to be a royal ball with Aladdin and Jasmine over It's a Small World. You can take a moonlit cruise on the Mark Twain riverboat with a jazz ensemble. I'd probably be hanging out in the Tropical Hideaway with the Polynesian Trio. There are, of course, going to be themed menu items with people lining up to buy specialty cupcakes and also lining up for the photo ops with Disney couples. So you can recreate scenes from Lady and the Tramp or The Little Mermaid.
Yes. And then what we're probably going to see be very popular are these new Princess Nights. So
Mhm.
this is where guests can experience a royal welcome, a musical concert series, specialty food items, themed photo backdrops, and this is only happening 2 nights, which I'm a little surprised by.
Surprised and personally, I'm terrified.
Right.
Uh, I don't know if folks might remember years ago they used to have pirates and princess nights at the Magic Kingdom in Disney World. So I guess the pirates are no longer cool. I don't know until the next Pirates of the Caribbean movie comes out. But princesses, they will be doing a royal welcome at the Disneyland train station, and Minnie Mouse and Daisy Duck will be dressed up in their princess outfits. There's going to be a concert with live vocalists. Featuring Moana, Merida, and other heroines. There's going to be a candy dance party with Vanellope von Schweetz over in Tomorrowland. Uh, Always jazz music in New Orleans, and food and photo backdrops. These start at 9 p.m. and they go to 1 a.m. And you get a 3-hour mix-in in Disneyland Park starting at 6 p.m. on the event nights, and that's what terrifies me because my Disneyland annual pass expires on March 9th,
No.
and Toontown reopens on March 8th.
Yep.
And I was hoping to be there during this period and take advantage of that. And if it wasn't going to be bad enough with a major land reopening, this event is going to make crowd control at the resort an absolute nightmare on those few days.
Yeah, these are a little shocking because we know all the magic key holders are going to descend on the park. It's also spring break time, so it is a very interesting time frame.
Yeah, this brace yourself, folks. So all right, if you're interested in this, the tickets you're gonna have to get these online. They're gonna sell out instantly. And they actually went on sale for annual key holders as we're talking December 12th. 9 a.m. Pacific time. So you should be trying to log on any second now.
Yes.
And if you're part of the general public, may the odds be in your favor on December 14th, starting at 9 a.m. Pacific. These things are hot and they go fast. You can have a maximum purchase of 8 tickets per event date. There are no discounts. Sorry. They are non-refundable. You can't sell them. You can't transfer them. You can't scalp them. And they are still they're enforcing their special event costume guidelines. So you can do a little more than just the standard Disney bounding, but no masks. Taking pictures with other people to make them think you're an authorized cast member. Make sure if you're into dressing up for these that you read the guidelines on Disney's website before you buy your ticket.
Yes, and that's one of my favorite parts of Disneyland After Hours events because people go all out. So I bet there's going to be some good princess.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great people watching. Absolutely. So head on over to Disneyland.com and look under events and tours for After Dark. Next up, D23 member events are going to be celebrating Disney's 100th anniversary throughout 2023. And they're kicking off with a preview of the Disney 100 exhibition. And I am looking forward to Destination D23 returning to Walt Disney World.
Yes, same. So it's exciting as we're slowly getting more details. Disney 100 kicks off next month already, and they've really only released information about what's happening at Disneyland. So we're slowly starting to get more information.
Yeah. As you know, D23 is a reference to the year that the Disney Corporation was founded in 1923. So lines up perfectly with the celebrations that are kicking off. February of 2023 is going to be the premiere of the Disney 100 exhibition, which is starting out its worldwide tour at the Franklin Institute in Philadelphia on February 18th. And if you're a D23 member, you can be among the first people to see that. They're also going to be holding an invitation event on the Walt Disney Studios lot in Burbank. And that is one that I wish I would get invited to.
Right. Yes, and I mean this exhibit looks revealed a lot of it at D23. It's like hard to even
Mhm,
call it an exhibit. It's more like an immersive experience, and if you love
mhm.
Disney and history, it looks like next level.
Something else that is really important historically is Walt's Marceline. That's of 2023. Um, we all know that Marceline, Missouri was one of Walt's major inspirations for creating Main Street USA. And D23 members are going to be able to actually visit Walt Disney's hometown during a special D23 event. Details of that so far are pretty thin, but mark your calendar for June.
Yes, that's really cool. And of course, the biggest event is D23,
Mhm.
which took place this last September in Anaheim. And now for 100 years, it will be at Walt Disney World.
Yes, Destination D23, September 8th through 10th. Um, Again, details are thin, but this is going to be the place to hear brand new breaking news, exciting announcements, get some sneak peeks, and also hear some behind the scenes stories. I am just hoping that by the time that rolls around, I will finally get that Amazon Alexa that I was promised by Josh way back at D23 in 2021. It could
It's coming,
happen.
it's on the way.
It could happen.
And then of course next year there's also other milestone anniversaries. A lot of them are tied to, beloved Disney films. Finding Nemo will celebrate the 20th anniversary. Mulan will be its 25th anniversary, and the 35th
Ah,
anniversary of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I cannot believe that's 35 years old. Well, they are also going to be celebrating the 30th anniversary of Hocus Pocus and Nightmare Before Christmas, and the 25th anniversary of the Disney Channel original movie Halloween Town. Um, and to wrap up the year, they are also going to be holding official tours of the Walt Disney Studios lot. That's a rare chance to peek inside the archives and even see Walt Disney's personal office suite. And they're also going to be holding D23 nights with Disney Theatrical. There's the North American tour of Lion King and Frozen, and one that I am excited about. They are having exclusive experience with the cast of the opening of Disney's Hercules at the Paper Mill Playhouse in New Jersey.
Ooh,
That was the first theater that I saw big Broadway style shows at growing up,
yes.
and it's the birthplace of Newsies. So hopefully, this production of Hercules will be as successful as Newsies has been.
Oh, yes. All the Broadway tryouts are there.
Yep.
And then, of course, there'll be signature events for D23 members. So this includes previewing the Walt Disney Archives traveling exhibits, which are really cool. They're like
Mhm.
little mini exhibits. Love going to those.
Yep. All throughout the year, D23 Gold members get invited to these previews and other special opportunities. Um, If you go to d23.com/events, you will see more details as they are released. Pricing for the gold membership is starts at $99 a year. And then they also have duo memberships. You can join a complimentary membership for free, but you're not able to access all the goodies.
No, you don't get the best prize sets that they send in the mail.
Yes. Yeah, I still have plenty of collectibles that I've gotten
The
from
good stuff.
being a
I love
member. Yeah. All right. Well, next up, this is one that I squeezed into our news list because I've become a fan of MSC Cruises in the last year or so, and they have launched the newest ship of their fleet, the MSC Seascape. Just arrived in New York for its christening, and one of the passengers on board was Robotron, the first ever customizable onboard interactive robotic thrill ride.
Looks very scary if you were watching this. It is overwhelming. This thing could go across the ocean. You're just hanging in the air. I would try it once.
Once. All right. So, in case you're not watching the video version, if you have ever been on the Harry Potter ride, Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey at the Universal theme parks, you know the Kuka Robo arm, which is big industrial robotic arm that's got a bunch of roller coaster seats stuck on the end of it. They can turn you and spin you and flip you in any direction. Well, this one is mounted on the topmost deck of this new MSC ship, and you get to pick. You get to choose your fate. You get customizable. You can pick your thrill level. So if you just want to take a gentle swing around and have a nice view, you can do that. You want to get spun 360 degrees upside down and shaken like a rag doll, you can do that. You can pick your music preference. There's right now they've got volume 1 with 20 different popular songs and 5 hidden bonus tracks, which sounds a lot like Rip Ride Rocket over at Universal to me. And you and 2 of your friends can go flying almost 175 feet above the ocean for everyone down on the pool deck to see.
Ooh, I don't want them to watch me do this.
This is definitely one that I've got to. It actually reminds me a lot of at Legoland in California years ago. They had I believe it was called Knights Tournament before the Harry Potter ride was even built. It was the first Kuka Robo Coaster experience I had, and yeah, I remember that really shook me up good. So, and that was on solid ground. So doing this on the top of a moving ocean liner, that's pretty amazing. If you want to try this out for yourself, they just as I said, christened this ship in New York. It's coming down to Miami, and for its inaugural season, it's doing the Eastern Caribbean and the Western Caribbean, and they both visit MSC's private island Ocean Cay, which I'm sorry, Ocean Key. Always get that wrong. Which is personally one of my favorite private islands in the Caribbean. Big thumbs up from me. If you are interested, head on over to msccruiseusa.com for more information. Oh, and I'm sorry, before I move on, I'm of course better reference Magic City Mayhem. Sum of All Thrills at Epcot. Duh. If you remembered Sum of All Thrills from Epcot, this is, I mean, without the roller coaster building portion, but you still, that's exactly what it is. Thank you. And
like,
inventions.
Next level, because that I felt very safe in Sum of All Thrills.
I'm sure this is perfectly safe.
Yes.
Well, let's hop on over to Universal, where the Wizarding World of Harry Potter is now home to a new collection of wands. If you liked the old wands that were loosely based on the Celtic Zodiac, you maybe you collected all 13 of those. Well, now it's time to start over, because there are 16 all new interactive wands, including one wand exclusive to each of the 4 destinations. So if you want them all, you're going to have to start racking up those frequent flyer miles and heading out to Orlando,
so cool. Yes.
Hollywood, Japan, and Beijing.
Yes.
Brilliant.
I'm not a wand collector, but I would even be tempted to do that.
Brilliant. All right. So, I mean, in case you've been hiding under a Whomping Willow all these years, the Harry Potter theme park lands at the various Universal parks all have these interactive windows that are activated by interactive wands. The wands are very clever. They are, of course, they run on a core of a magical substance, but in reality, they don't have any batteries or electricity. They just have a little infrared reflective dot at the tip that is sensed by an Xbox Kinect camera, and it is magically activated if you swish and flick in just the right pattern for the camera to see.
It's fun to watch people try.
So these new ones are the exact same technology, so all of your old ones will continue to work. But what these wands do come with is a whole new lore. The folks who play the wand keepers at the Ollivander shops are given these extensive trainings on the histories of each of these wands, and they can talk to you about them as they do the shows. But that information has always kind of been a little secret. Now each of these wands includes a little piece of wand lore, so you can take home and read about the magical properties of your personal wand.
You know, it's interesting. I wonder if when you're doing Ollivanders, if they're going to be pushing the new wands.
Well, my understanding is that the old wands, the old collection is phased out, and
Okay.
so that now when you go to see the wand show, when the wand chooses its owner, these are the new wands that they are doing with. I'm friends with some wand keepers, and from social
Of
media,
course.
I know that they have been training really, really hard. It's a huge amount of stuff to memorize. I mean,
Right.
it's like, and the way these are written, it's almost like Shakespearean.
No, these are incredible ad lib actors.
Oh yeah, yeah, they're great. And to be able to like look at a guest and sort of interpret like which of these wands, you think will match up with them. Just, it's a little bit of mind reading, it's a little bit of theater. It's great. So there are different combinations, and each combination is unique. At all the locations, they have this set of 12 wands, and their combinations like an aspen with unicorn hair, or an elm with phoenix feather, or a maple with unicorn hair. But then each of the 4 theme parks has a unique one. The one unique to Universal, which I will probably be able to get, is the larch with phoenix feather. But maybe when I'm out in Hollywood, I could pick up a walnut and dragon heartstring.
I don't know. I want to go to Beijing.
Yeah, you will come back with a red oak and unicorn hair. And if you swing by Japan on your way home, you can get a cherry and unicorn hair wand.
You know, I've never collected wands, but honestly, when I hear something about location exclusive things, I need it.
So these are the ones that are, like I said, exclusive to Ollivanders. There are other locations within the Wizarding Worlds where you can pick up wands, and those generally have recreations of character wands as seen in the movies. But this, when you go to the Ollivander shop, and a wand picks its owner, I believe these are the ones that they are now going to be using. So, and maybe if you've got one of the old ones, they will become even more valuable. Who knows?
Yes, this is very cool.
Yeah. All right. So Universal Orlando, or Universal Studios Hollywood, or just Google away for Universal for more information. And if you can't make it directly to the park, I know that in the past, many of the wands have been available on Universal's website for shipping to home. So hopefully these will become available as well. All right, let us head to the other side of the world, to SeaWorld, but not any of the SeaWorlds we normally talk about. SeaWorld in Australia, that is Space World instead of SeaWorld, all one world. Well, they have launched a new section called New Atlantis with a brand new roller coaster, Leviathan, and it has officially opened, but I'm not sure it's actually open. We'll get to that in just a second. First,
Yes.
good news. Leviathan is a new wooden roller coaster that takes guests up to almost 50 miles an hour. And 2 of the guests get to ride rear-facing seats, basically like sitting in the trunk in your parents' station wagon back in the 70s, looking out the rear window. 105 feet tall, 2,982 feet of track, and it is the first, I believe, the first wooden roller coaster built in the continent of Australia in quite a while. It had its official debut along with two other attractions that are in New Atlantis, this new land at the SeaWorld Park. The Vortex, a swing attraction, and the Trident, which is a spinning attraction. But here's the bad news. I got sent a news article from news.com.au, Australian news. Folks over there are not happy because it looks like all three of the new rides were closed over the weekend with an, quote, outcry from angry visitors last week. So
no.
yeah, doesn't sound like it looks like the Trident officially opened on the 7th and was closed by the 11th. The Vortex was closed for maintenance, but sounds like they got that back open. But as of this writing, the Leviathan remains closed, and they are continuing to fine-tune and program the ride's theming and technical elements.
Oh no!
They say that there was no safety concern, but that their brand new open ride, at least as of this article, not updated 13 hours ago, still not open quite yet.
Yikes, that does not sound good. We'll let them iron it out before we
yeah so good luck to SeaWorld in Australia. No relation to SeaWorld in Orlando or the United States. If you are interested in checking them out, hopefully you can give a call to meitravel.com. They can arrange your trip, and by the time you get down under, they will have gotten it all straightened out. All right. Next up, the last piece of news in the queue. I think we might have skipped over this when we talked about what you've been doing. Did you get a chance to do this one?
I did both of them.
The escape room has finally opened at Universal Orlando, the Universal Greatest Movie Escape at City Walk, replacing the Groove, R.I.P. the Groove. It's open, and we have a unbiased, spoiler-free review on the attractionsmagazine.com website from our contributor, Andy Haynes. But I want to hear your unbiased, spoiler-free review.
Yes, I had such a fun day. I did both of them, Back to the Future at a time, and then Jurassic World. First off, it's not an escape game in the traditional sense. There isn't that sense of urgency to really finish a puzzle. This is super high tech. They are watching you as you do the puzzles, and based on how there are multiple games in each room, each different room, I guess we'll call them escape rooms because that's what they're calling them. They each have 8 scenes. The scenes, they could change the games and the difficulty based on how they're watching you do. So this is like a highly advanced level. I would say it's more an immersive experience that's progressive. So you're not necessarily escaping, you're progressing the storyline through each scene.
So it's more of like a walk-through interactive attraction rather than a challenge or a competition or a...
Right, which I loved because it just really felt like you were thrown in the storyline. And they can also have multiple groups go in. So basically, they said about every 15 minutes, a new group will enter that. And the way they could see it is obviously they're monitoring it really closely. So you're not going to get like held in a room because the group in front of you didn't finish it. They can adjust it as you're going.
So I assume they've got like hidden cameras, and they can they talk to you, or there's not a person in the room with you?
There's not a person in the room with you. There's no like guide, which sometimes escape rooms have those. The story is there is a narrator on a video screen that coaches you through things, but obviously this is like pre-recorded. We started with Back to the Future. Loved it. If you are a fan of the film franchise, you are stepping into iconic scenes from it. It was so fun. I felt that was the least traditional escape room of both. You're invested in I love the storyline. That was my favorite storyline. But it's not as much of the puzzles like in traditional escape rooms. Jurassic, I felt, was closer to a traditional escape room. So maybe if you are like an escape room person, which one would you pick? I would probably say Jurassic, just because that's more traditional. There are like 2 specific scenes that were very similar to like other escape rooms that I've done. The sets in there were incredible. There was that sense of urgency because you had some really like high pressure situations because you didn't want to get attacked by a bunch of dinosaurs. So
yeah, I would prefer not to be torn apart by velociraptors.
right. So I feel like it's really, if do both if you can, but it just depends on your preference. If you want to just like, if you love Back to the Future and want to go through those scenes, do it. If you love Jurassic and maybe more of a traditionalist when it comes to escape rooms, do that one. But I had so much fun. It's fun to like be in a group with people. I feel like you could do this Back to the Future maybe easier with people you don't know. Jurassic World, there was a lot of like team effort activities, and I knew almost everyone in my group. So I feel like we worked well together because we knew already each other's strengths, or you're more comfortable with someone so you could yell at them, or just you know.
And I imagine that when there are dinosaurs about to break into the room, that there is yelling involved.
Oh,
Hard
there's
to stay calm in that kind of situation.
Yes, I love both of them.
Also sounds like Back to the Future might be a little more family friendly if you have kids who are freaked out by
100%. I feel like if you have kids, that might be the one to do. Again, they adjust the difficulty level, so I think maybe they saw in Jurassic that we were working really well together, and maybe that's why some of them
cranked up the
harder. Yes, because it's not like you go in and you're like, "Hey, Universal, give me difficulty hard." They're watching you. So this is like next level. I mean, you're on immersive sets. It's really cool. This would be a really fun group activity. Yeah, I mean, I love it. I wanted to go again yesterday. So, and I'm not like an escape room person. So,
well, next time you're here, call me and we'll do it together.
Do it. Yeah,
I need a partner. If you so it takes I believe up to 8 people, but they will mix and match if you don't want to buy out a full room. I think they talked about $300 to buy out the full room,
which is not bad if you're going to do.
Not unreasonable with 8 people.
No,
but if you're just a solo person, I think it's starts at about $50,
right?
And they'll pair you up with a group, right?
Definitely. So they'll pair you up. Also have to note, you don't have to purchase admission to one of the escape rooms to go into the building, and you should go into the building. It is really cool. It's 2 levels. It's like an old-timey movie theater, and they have, what my favorite part was, old posters from Universal in Hollywood, like really old movie posters. And there are 2 bars, one on the bottom floor, one on the top floor, with exclusive cocktails themed to the different rooms. And then also there's an outdoor patio. So if you're thinking about, dipping your toe, just go in and look in here, because there's props and costumes on display. They did an amazing job with it. It's an experience. I'm going to call it an attraction. Because
do you have a cocktail recommendation?
Yes, I have the Silent Era, which is my recommendation. It is a espresso martini with a dash of pistachio syrup. And it was so good. So good. And on top of the foam, they spray in this little mold thing, and it makes the Universal Great Movie Escape logo on top.
That's amazing.
Yes.
All right, I gotta order one of those.
Yes. So just go and check it out. It was so fun. I feel like it's gonna bring new life to City Walk. I love seeing these new activities come in there. So I loved it. I'm gonna do it again for sure.
Now all we need to do is get them to keep the green and red coconut club open all the time. Really bring City Walk back to life. All right. Well, that sounds fantastic. If you want to book this for yourself, head on over to universalorlando.com. And before we wrap up this week with our main attraction, I think it is time for us to hear a quick word from our sponsor.
The Attractions Podcast is brought to you by MEI and Mousefan Travel. Whether your next vacation is a magical trip to the theme parks, an exciting adventure to the pyramids of Egypt, or just a relaxing cruise on the turquoise waters of the Bahamas, MEI Travel provides premium service and expert advice to help you get the most of your vacation. They are always free of any hidden fees or costs to you. Visit them at mei-travel.com.
It's time for the main attraction!
All right, here it is, finally from Universal, the biggest surprise announcement, or the worst kept secret if you follow Alicia Stella's Orlando Park Stop. Minion Land, featuring Villain Con, Minion Blast attraction, and Minion Cafe, are coming in summer of 2023 to Universal Orlando. We said goodbye to Shrek 4D and the Universal Classic Monsters Cafe not so long ago. And now we finally have official confirmation of what has been rumored and dissected on the internet for quite a while. It is going to be an attraction based on Illumination's Minions, specifically the Villain Con scenes. And it is going to be not a walkthrough, not a ride through, but a glide through attraction. If you've ever been jealous of the luggage on the baggage carousel at the airport, you're going to get to see what it feels like.
Yes, no, that's what I was thinking. It's like, if you've ever been in those long airport walkways where you like, you can either walk this or stand on a moving belt. You're going to be standing on a moving belt. And when I read that, I was like, wait, what? I think this could be really cool. I'm curious to see, like, is this, because they said it in the press release, family friendly, all ages. I'm wondering, like, if you have a baby, like, would you be able to go and stand on it since you're not really in a ride vehicle? That was one thing they didn't really go into details yet.
My understanding is this is a moving walkway system that is been used in aquariums and other places where it is just as safe as any other moving walkway. So you can hold an infant, or have someone in a wheelchair or whatever, but it doesn't just go straight. It can go around corners, and that's what basically lets it follow a dark ride track without needing a dark ride vehicle. You're going to get a blaster, hence the ride's name. The attraction's name, Minion Blast. And you're going to it's going to be, probably not that dissimilar to Men in Black, but it's going to be using screen technology and projection mapping on physical sets. So combination of a video game and a shooting gallery.
I'm so excited because Men in Black is one of my favorites. And then also when Universal combines projections with physical set pieces like Secret Life of Pets at Hollywood.
Exactly.
So good. So if it is, I'm envisioning it to be that sort of level. And instead of just sitting in, like a pizza box at the garbage at Secret Life of Pets, you're going to be moving around and playing. I mean, I feel like this is going to be great.
So we have a little bit of the storyline. You are going to Villain Con, which is, of course, the biggest criminal convention on the planet, which happens in Orlando. Where else? And you are going to be taking part in a competition to see if you've got what it takes to become the newest member of the Vicious Six, the legion of supervillains that were featured in the Minions: Rise of Gru. Interactive blaster, motion-based pathway, projection mapping, physical environments, screens, basically the kitchen sink thrown in. And the interesting thing, I think, is that this isn't even taking up the entire Shrek 4D building. They've left room in the venue so that they can still do haunted houses for Halloween Horror Nights without having to shut this attraction down.
Yeah, that's going to be really interesting. I'm assuming the blaster is going to be cordless, right? I mean,
Yes, it would have to be.
okay.
It would have to be a wireless. So I'm sure it's going to have some sort of tag on it to make sure people don't sneak out with it as a souvenir.
Right. Yeah.
Uh,
I'm
or
super
perhaps,
curious.
I mean, perhaps there'll be a handrail and it would be corded and attached to a handrail.
That's
That could be
kind of,
possible too.
yeah, that's what
I will have to wait for Alicia to dig into the patents some more,
yes.
maybe, and find out for us.
And
Uh,
and what I'm most excited about, Minion Cafe, one of my favorite quick service places from Universal Studios Hollywood,
mhm,
is coming to Orlando. Their food is great. I feel like it'll be, and we need a little bit more quick service options at Orlando,
mhm.
especially in Universal Studios Florida. I hope they bring their banana barbecue sauce with them when they make the leap across the country. But
Oh,
we
I
do
hope
not know.
so. Yeah, that is definitely their signature. I'm was sad to see the Classic Monsters go, but we know that there is Classic Monsters restaurants
Yep.
coming to the new land at Epic Universe, so that's a fair trade. And this also, this is not just new attraction, a new restaurant. We are rechristening what was Production Central. I don't know if all of Production Central will be
Mhm.
rechristened because that also includes Music Plaza and Transformers and Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket. So maybe this will just be split off, but the new area is going to now be known as Minion Land on Illumination Avenue. So we'll have to see what other Illumination characters come to life in this Illumination
Oh,
Avenue.
yes. And so with that change, that means the existing Minion attraction will be part of Minion Land now. So
Yes. Yes. So we've got a Minion Land, and we'll have to see exactly how far this Illumination Avenue extends. There's been a lot of work going on at the Hello Kitty store, which is attached to the Betty Boop store, which is attached to this new attraction. And I would not be shocked to see a retheming of that, maybe to go together with this
right.
new Illumination Avenue.
Yeah. And
Um,
it's all coming next summer. So this
all
we're gonna
coming in summer of 2023. Shocking that Universal is actually acknowledging something, months in advance. Usually they wait until the week before opening before they admit they've even built anything.
right.
So it's a nice
And
change.
it was interesting timing for sure because it was opening of the movie Escape that they announced this. So
Yep.
that was interesting.
Yep. Well, I think that just about brings us. Oop, remove. That brings us to the end. But before we go, we want to thank our sponsors, MEI and Mouse Fan Travel, once again. And I want to remind everyone to please give us a review on Apple Podcasts and leave us a rating on Spotify. If you want to find more coverage from us in Attractions Magazine on the interwebs, you can find me at the UG series on Twitter, at the Unofficial Guides on Instagram, and at theunofficialguides.com. Carly, where can everyone find you?
Yes, I am on Twitter at Carly Caramana and Instagram at Adventures by Carly.
And the entire Attractions Magazine team is there for you every day at attractionsmagazine.com, at Attractions on Twitter, at Attractions Magazine on Instagram, at youtube.com/attractionsmagazine, and at Attractions on TikTok. And until next week, we hope that you folks stay safe, try something new, but most importantly, have fun. We'll see you again next time.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.